What is up and welcome back everyone. Today is the day we can finally kind of wrap up the Forester. So that headliner that we did with Suede, it's going in. This plastic trim we all painted is going in. So hopefully, if everything goes successfully, we should have all this plastic trim, all of these little clips that have been painted, everything that's been painted, as well as this blacked out headliner, all in the car by the end of this video. We're gonna see how that goes because I don't know if I remember where everything goes, so we're gonna have to kind of learn as we go. I can always pull up a service manual, hopefully it shows me the clips, but we do have a lot of clips that have been painted and a lot of stuff that's in like little containers like these, so hopefully it's pretty easy to get started with and get everything in. So I think the first thing, if I remember correctly, is this guy, is the headliner. So I think we have a couple things we gotta fix. So stuff like the connection, there's a electricity or a harness on here. This has fallen off, so I gotta kind of 3M tape that back together. So we're gonna do that, as well as we're also going to, some point, I don't know where I wanna put it yet, but we have some sound deadening actually it's from a washing machine, but it is sound deadening. So we're gonna use that to kind of silence the inside of the cab because there's a lot of wind noise. And with that roof rack that we installed, there's going to be even more. The first step of this process, as I said, is the headliner. Well, the headliner, I just need to put a couple pieces of plastic trim in. So it's these guys that we pulled out, I don't even know how long ago. We pulled these guys out and they got painted, as well as this one right here. I may have to clean off some glue here. I actually found that lacquer thinner works really well and it doesn't change the color of the material, so we'll probably remove a little bit of glue there. But I think other than that, if I remember correctly, that's all we need to do to be able to now put it on the roof. But first, as I said, I want to do the material or the sound deadening. So I've got this much material right here. So we're gonna go kind of cut this up and place it on the roof. The main focus for me is placing it on this part of the passenger compartment right up here to here. And that's well just because that's where I am, so hopefully it's going to be quieter. But we'll look at placing it maybe some other places depending on how much material we have. And with that done, we have now also cut our pieces of sound deadening. So as I said, these are actually from a dishwasher, which I guess reuse, reduce, recycle. But anyways, I put some tape on them. The thing about this stuff is it isn't super thick, so it should fit on the roof, and that means it's also pretty light. So these 3M, or not 3M, I don't know what this is. I think it's duct tape, double-sided tape. So it should hold this enough. Although we have two different sizes, that's because, well, that's about as big as I can get from these. I have a couple smaller sections that I'm gonna look at putting on the roof after. But what we're gonna do is essentially take these, and I've measured them so they will fit, and go ahead and then we're gonna put them on the roof of the car. So that's my main point of where I want to put sound deadening. So put it up right along here, and it fits perfectly in there, and it also reaches the, there's a little bar in here, it kind of levels everything off. And then we also have lots of integration with the headliner itself, so it shouldn't droop at all. So there we go. I cut the extra smaller ones that we can kind of put in the back of the car, like in the roof. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see without a light. Yeah, so there's some sections that we're gonna put them in, so it should be easy as that. There we go. So I now have a light in here so you guys can actually see what's going on. But I put most of it up front, and then I kind of just brought it back with what I could because I didn't have a ton of material. But I still think it worked pretty well. And then I was actually tapping again on the roof, and it echoes back here, but up front there's nothing. So that 3M or that duct tape, double-sided tape works really well, and it's holding it on. So I guess the next step is going ahead and actually putting the headliner over this. Also, if you're worried about clearance, check out how much clearance I have here. So it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but these stick down, and they actually are where the pins go in for the headliner, and this is way above that, so we'll have no issues with that. So there we go. We've got some sound deadening, and now it's on to the actual headliner itself. The headliner is always super fun to install. Even on the STI it was fun, but this is going to be even worse. Is you got to slide it over the headrest. So that's essentially what I'm going to do, slide it over the headrest, and then we're going to find some key mounting spots. So I think if we look down here, we've got this little tab. This is one of our, no, it's broken, cool. It was one of our key mounting spots, we'll maybe have to think about a new one there. But stuff like, we have our 4 holes here, and those have black pins as you guys seen in the STI. And then these white clips here also clip into the body. So we should have some good mounting point just for now until we get the pillars. Because once the pillars go on, they run along the side and actually hold up the rest of it, as well as the holy shit handles on the sides where I've put the holes. I thought I might as well take you guys along for the fun journey of putting the headliner back in. Well, I dropped the headliner on you guys and it moved the camera. So now where are we? Well, we're trying to get this back on towards the front driver's side, and it doesn't want to go that way. So we're just gonna, there we go. Just keep on pushing it forward. And I think we're theoretically almost in place. I don't want to put these pins in yet because I need to line up the lights and stuff. Well, it's in, kind of. I mean, it's in there. It's not on there, but it's in there. So I think I'm going to work from the very front, and we're going to go ahead and kind of push the, get this section up top kind of done. But that was really bad. I had to open the drawer to get it in, and then I dropped it on you guys and all that fun stuff. But as you see, we have this wiring harness here. Got to put that in, and then we also got to go ahead and line this up with the 2 spots. I kind of figured before we actually bring this up, should probably plug in the important stuff like the light and then test if it works. So what I did is exactly that. So we have the light now working on the front and also on the back there. So we should be good to bring it up now and put in these 4 pins here, essentially, the 4 little like clips, and then 3 in the back. And then the front one isn't a worry because, well, the harness itself hangs down, and then everything plugs in off of that and plugs into the roof itself. And just like that, we have our headliner in. So it was actually pretty easy. I just put it on pretty much a stool back here, and then I clipped in 1, 2, 3, and that held the whole back in. And then I went ahead and I actually took my little trim tool, so one of these handy dandy little things, and I just ran it across here so that we could catch the edge of the trim on the actual headliner. So yeah, that was actually easy. Then it pretty much held it all up for me. Well, I put in these little guys right here. So this little clip right here, there's 4 of them. So now the whole thing is held up pretty well actually. So now we can go ahead and put in the lights. So the lights are next. I had to find which screws. I think this is the right screw. It's just got a spacer on it. You guys can't really see it. There you go. It's got a little bit of spacer on it, so that it kind of spaces the light out, and then we should be able to put that light in. And then I think we're next putting on the front section, which is all the stuff up there. So like the glasses compartment, light, and that stuff. And as you can see, the wiring harness is sitting there. If you guys watched the headliner video, you know that it actually didn't turn out that great. We had a lot of issues with just like using the glue. I actually forgot to spray it on the fabric. I only sprayed it on the headliner and stuff like this. But actually, because it's in this dark car with tint, it looks great. I'm really happy the way it looks right now. So once we get this plastic trim in, it should even look better. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. But yeah, let's go ahead. We gotta put those lights in so those kind of hold up the center section of the headliner and the very front. And then we can go ahead, I think we have, what do we have after that? Oh, all the handles, we gotta put those in. Those have been painted black. And then we should be able to go ahead, put the plastic in, and then go put the plastic on my window. And if you didn't know, this window is now tinted again. I failed the tint again, guys, so maybe watch that video and watch me absolutely destroy this tint. I messed up so badly, so we'll have to figure out what to do with that later, but right now it's all about getting this interior back inside. Now that that top light is in, it's time to go ahead and put on this guy. So this guy I had to reassemble because we took it apart to paint, so I had to reassemble it, but it's all good. All it takes is 3 screws here, here, and here, and we're good to go. Also, it has a single plug, which is already in here, as I mentioned, in the harness. So this guy, we just gotta plug in so that we actually have lights. So plug this in, do up those 3 holes, and we're good to go. Now that the handles are in, it's time to take these guys and put them on. I thought putting those in were going to be a lot more satisfying than they were. It was like really hard hit to get them even in, but now they're in. So essentially we now have the whole roof part. You guys can't see that, but the whole handle and roof kind of assembly all done. So what that means is it means that we got to now go to the bottom of the car and put back in our passenger seats. That's because we removed some trim pieces to paint. I wasn't going to, but I did. So these trim pieces need to be put back, and that's because they actually go where the seat goes, or behind the seat. So that's why we removed the seat in the first place. So we're gonna go ahead and take these. So what we're gonna do is take these pieces, they're part of the seat pillar, and they're gonna go right here. And then we're actually gonna put the seat back because these seats have been removed because we wanted to remove those to paint them. So huge ordeal, but anyways, we get to now put these back and then go ahead kind of install the rest of the pillars then. These stupid black pieces of trim are literally the hardest. I was supposed to put 3 bolts in 2 little like pin clips things. I've scratched my hands, I'm bleeding, and I've got 2 screws in and I called it a day. It's good enough, it's not moving anywhere, it's clipped in down there, and then it also has 2 screws into the rug. That was a big thing because you can't actually pull the rug outwards. You're pretty much just left with it. You're gonna have to like angle yourself in there. I tried small screwdriver and whatever, but we got this one done and we got this one done. But I also took the time to go ahead, and I haven't been able to use the sprayer on this hatch because, well, it just didn't spray liquid. And I was like, huh, weird, whatever. So I hit it a bunch, and then I realized my headliner was getting wet, and so was stuff down here. So I'm like, huh, interesting, let's look up here. And there was a hose that connects here. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see. There's a hose in here that goes up to sprayer, and it was cracked right here. So I pulled it out, and you're really not gonna be able to see this. And essentially it's this hose right down here that runs along here. It was just cut, so I took a T, cut it in half, and then zip tied it. So now that we have a new connection to the hose, we actually now have the rear sprayer too, which is really good for driving in Alberta in the winter when you need to clean the back of the vehicle. But yeah, we got that. Now I think we're on to the easier stuff with, we get to put in the seat and just latch it down here. I won't show you that because that's super easy now, and it's something we've done like 5 or 6 times at this point. So essentially you just put on this bottom part, and then you just attach these into the pins in here and attach it to that bracket. And now we'll have seats, and then we can finally put in all that fun stuff. After some messing around with the actual seats, we finally got them bolted down and in the car. So now it's time to move to all these pillars. So I think we're gonna start from the front, probably the easiest, and work our way back because I think these are gonna be a pain. These ones are gonna be a pain. And I have a bunch of clips that I don't know where they go. So I think if we do this way, we can kind of eliminate a lot of them. So let's go give it a try. The only thing missing from the inside of the car are these. I just had to put a little bit of paint on a couple spots, so those are drying. But if we take a look in the car, if we take a look in the car, we've got our pillars all set up, and then we also have our command start also there, and our little mic for our head unit. I had to glue the command start because I broke it when I took it off, but there we go. It's all up on there, and it looks pretty good, I would have to say myself. Got this pillar on. I just wrapped the little bits of wiring harness, and then I had to move some clips from the one over there onto this one because they were broken on this one. So we do have less clips than really required, but it still works and it's held on there pretty good. Also, if you notice, we're missing some pieces of plastic around here. While I was waiting for stuff to move around and dry, I went ahead and I did this back hatch too, actually. This was really easy. All it is clips, so I didn't really need to show you guys. There's just clips everywhere on here, so I just kind of clipped them in. Clipped them, more little clips up top, you know, the classic Subaru clips, and then there we go. So we have that. Now it's time to move on to the B pillars, so the ones behind the passenger and driver, and then we're getting one step closer. Now these ones are a little more difficult because, well, we have our seat belts in here, but what I did is I actually went ahead and painted the little inserts. So essentially you put one of these in, and then you slide that over top, and it should be on just like that. I believe there's one clip I need to put in. I just don't know what clip. Well, I got that B pillar done. It's not the greatest. And then same with this one. 10 out of 10 would not recommend doing these. These are such a pain, but we got them on. I got a few scratches I got to touch up, but I think it looks pretty good. One thing is, if you notice, I forgot a part. If you look on the very top of that, there's a gray piece of plastic. I forgot to actually take off the bracket itself for the seatbelt. So we do have one piece of gray plastic, but I don't think it matters that much because look at down there, it's all gray plastic. So, well, maybe it's like a little accent. Anyways, we got that done. I've thread locked the seatbelts bolts because, well, that makes sense. So we got that done. Now we're moving on to the last pieces of plastic, the big C-pillars now. So this piece uses a pretty much just clips with a couple screws right there and right down here. So this should be a really easy panel. And then the actual seatbelt bracket goes right there. And that just uses a little piece of plastic like the one off in the far distance. So that one already mounts on. You place this on, you put in your little pieces here, and you should be ready to put this on the car. There we go. So we have this one all done. As I said, it's mostly clips all the way across, down the side, and then down on the bottom here. So super easy. And then once you got it clipped in, you can put on these certain little sections here, bolt up your seat belt, and then go ahead and put on this top strut cap. And then you're pretty much done. Just make sure you don't forget which way the seatbelt goes. I messed it up, so I had to take off a little bit and refix it. But yeah, there we go. Take a look at that, guys. We're getting so close. One more to go. And then just the little strip up here, and then we have officially fully blacked out as much of the interior as we can for right now. And there we go. So we have the other side done. So we got 1, 2, and then we got all the A and B pillar done too. So what's left is essentially, there's a strip that goes up here, and then our third brake light, and we are officially done with the plastics. So third brake light right here, and then that long strip up top. So let's go ahead and install those and finish this up. And there we go. That was the last clip we needed to finish this all black interior. It is really dark, actually. I'm really impressed. There is a couple little scratches here and there though that I will have to fix, as well as put on those sun visors, but those are like additional kind of things. I might want to do something with the sun visor. I know we can actually go ahead and paint it, so I might try that and see that goes. So we'll just leave those out for now. But this looks absolutely amazing. You guys can't see it because, well, there's no light in here. There we go. It looks awesome. But yeah, so we have officially finished the blacked out interior on the Forester for now. As I said, we're kind of just doing this in steps. This is a step where I don't have to buy new seats or carpet, all that fun stuff. So just painting and headliner. So if you guys missed any of those two videos, they'll be up on one of these corners. I can't remember which ones, so go check those out if you're curious of how I did that, or check out how I did the STI. Did the exact same thing with the STI. I've seemed to have followed a common theme with those cars. Both put roof racks on, and I both have blacked out the interior, so must be doing something right, because I like those. But anyways, I think that was going to be it for today, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. For me, it was almost 8 hours of installing interior parts, but it was a good 8 hours because we officially now have this car ready to go back on the road after 4 months, so yay. We should maybe be doing, maybe do a little video here soon when we have the snow to see how the fog lights work, because we tinted those yellow last video when we failed tinting this roof. And then we have a couple little things here, like I gotta put new wipers on this whole car, as well as just do a couple touch-ups here and there. So I think we'll do that before we go ahead and do the drive. But that is gonna be it for today's video, as I said. So as always, peace out and stay humble.